time to the best way I possibly can to give you guys the information and the tools that you need to be more effective and more profitable in the work environment. So mini split system maintenance, new opportunities is what we're here to talk about today. I'm having trouble changing my slide for some reason. There we go. The realities of mini splits. Mini splits are an excellent opportunity to increase your revenue stream. By design, you know, the indoor overspill or drainage or staining or damage to any of the surrounding areas. So the vast majority of the residential systems and the commercial systems are really not cleaned unless there's either an IEQ issue or until there's actually a mechanical problem with the machine itself. So opportunities are arising all the time where either the unit needs service maintenance due to lack of cleaning, or the previously installed units just need the general upkeep and maintenance to prevent things like what you see in these two pictures from taking place. And believe it or not, these are both from pictures that were taken in the United States. I know in Latin America, several of the locations that I service, I've actually seen worse than this. But this is actually a major health concern when the blower wheels get this type of contamination built on them. I think there's actually mushrooms in the one on the right, and looks like algae on one on the left, but both of them are full of mold. So this is what we're trying to avoid, but this is something that's out there, and the applications that we're going to go over today will give you the tools that you need in order to eliminate this type of contamination, to do a very, very deep cleaning on mini splits, and give you the tools that you can offer your clients to prevent this type of thing from coming back. We're going to cover two different sections in this PowerPoint. One is coil cleaning, which is the actual removal of all the dirt, dust, debris, mold, bacteria, funguses, like you saw in the previous slide. And then the IEQ products, which are meant to freshen the air, keep the unit clean during the time frame of when it has been serviced up until the point in time where you have the next routine service. A lot of this is best if it's explained to the customer so that they know that these are machines that are used on a regular basis. They're also breeding grounds for germs and contamination, and they need regular service, just like your car needs oil changes. Without regular service, you're going to have a potential health issue on your hands by allowing these moist, wet, dark environments continue to breed fungus, bacteria, germs, pathogens, allergens, and then as they use the unit, it's spraying all of those potential harmful pathogens all over the inhabitants of the space. So the two different things we're going to talk about is the coil cleaning and then the prevention of these contaminants, along with freshening the air in the environment in different ways to do that. The first product that we're going to talk about is the Clean Guard maintenance bags. These maintenance bags or cleaning covers, whichever way you like to call them, were developed specifically for mini split evaporators or wall-mounted indoor mini split coils. The first picture that you see on the upper right-hand side is the Clean Guard standard for systems up to 12,000 BTUs. There's this Clean Guard, then there's a Clean Guard XL, which is for 18,000 to 36,000 BTUs. What makes this product very unique is that it's the only cleaning cover out there that has 360-degree coverage, along with a drawstring design, which allows you to make this tight for any shape or size within those parameters of 18,000 to 36,000 or 12,000 BTU. So, whichever one of those categories you pick the appropriate size clean guard. It allows you to place the cleaning cover over the evaporator, then take that drawstring, and you'll see this in the next slide. You can make it very, very tight so you don't have to worry about any contamination to your surrounding areas. Like we talked about before, whether that be artwork or painted walls or carpeting or valuable possessions that the customer may need to protect in the environment where you would have previously not wanted to go through the process of cleaning this mini split for fear of creating an issue with any of those personal pieces of property or possessions. So we've got the drawstring design, the 8-foot drain line, and the ability to cover 360 degrees all the way around with the see-through bag. And that's very nice as well, because a lot of customers like to see as all that dirt and debris is coming off of the mini split. They're knowing that they're getting the value for their money by having you come in and take care of servicing their air conditioner. The bag itself is a very heavy gauge plastic. I like to compare it more to a raincoat than an actual plastic bag, because it can be used many, many times. I have a customer who's used his over 100 times. It's not pretty at this point in time, but it still works great. You just want to make sure that you rinse it off and then you let it dry before you put it in a sealed container, where if it's wet, it'll get moldy and it won't look very nice the next time you go to use it. This is an example of the CleanGuard XL installation. The CleanGuard XL and the standard CleanGuard both install exactly the same way. They wrap around the mini split 360 degrees. As you can see in the picture, this is Miguel. He's not a model. He's kind of a CleanGuard model, I guess you could say. Doesn't pay very well. He was just one of the first adopters of this product. He's based down in Central America. He loved the product so much he actually asked if he could take some pictures for us. So one thing that I think is funny is when a lot of people see the packaging, they'll say, there's no way a technician could possibly be this happy. He really is. And he's not even getting paid, but he's just a big fan of this product. So we appreciate him giving us the opportunity to let us take these pictures of him in action. So as you can see, he's wrapping it all the way around the mini split. You can go from the right to the left or left to the right, but it's 360 degree coverage. In the far right picture, you can see how there's a drawstring behind it. It's a drawstring with a wheel lock. And you can pull that tight to make sure that, like a shower cap, as you're going around the mini split, you're actually encapsulating the evaporator from the environment where it's located. So if you do have any valuables in the area, you don't have to be worried about getting any overspray or leakage. And then there is the 8-foot drain line that comes down into the bucket. You can cut the drain line if you wish, if you're doing a lot of applications where the ceiling is not very high, or you can just let the water pool in the bucket and then just gently raise the drain line to let the water out of the tail. That way, if you do have a fouling application, which is in a position located higher than the previous ones, you don't have to worry about the drain line being too short. We also make a CleanGuard CC or cassette bag. This particular cleaning cover was developed for commercial ceiling cassette units in VRF systems. This is for use with any ceiling cassette design. It can be used with only the center cover or the entire cassette cover removed. It's a unique option exclusively through new Coil Gun. It's got the same simple drawstring design that we talked about on the CleanGuard and CleanGuard XL. So you can basically tighten it according to the appropriate size that you need, so you don't have any leakage. It has a 10-foot drain line instead of an 8-foot drain line. And this is by far the simplest and most economical option on the market. It's a heavy-duty plastic, same gauge plastic as we use in the CleanGuard, extremely reusable. You can use it basically as many times as you want, as long as you rinse it out and then let it dry before you put it into a sealed container, where if it was wet, it would definitely get moldy and wouldn't look very nice for the next application. This is an example of the CleanGuard CC installation. It's very similar to the installation of the CleanGuard and CleanGuard XL. You start at one side of the unit, and then you wrap it around. Once again, 360-degree coverage, and you have the drawstring to make sure that it's nice and tight, as you can see in the little circle after the second slide. Miguel is just tightening the drawstring to show that in many cases what you'll actually do is you'll realize that the bag is bigger than you need in general, and then you'll pre-tighten it to make it even more manageable. It's quite a large apparatus, much bigger than most people think it is. So there's plenty of room to work on the unit. Once it's up there, you don't have to worry about pulling down in one corner and then the other side slipping off because there's too much tension on the plastic. It's very, very convenient. It's by far the most all-inclusive way of cleaning and protecting the environment that I've come across. Everything that we've talked about up to this point is related to protecting the environment and creating a space for you to safely clean the evaporator coils inside of a home or business. Now what we're going to talk a little bit about are the different coil cleaner options that exist, especially with all of the news and current events related to viruses and illnesses that are affecting the world. This is actually a great way of identifying with the customers how important it is that they maintain the cleanliness of a mini split evaporator, because it is a breeding ground for dirt, debris, bacteria, viruses, pathogens, all the different types of bad things that can grow inside of a dark, wet, moist environment with a spinning wheel that is blowing the air directly on all of the inhabitants. This particular coil cleaner right here, Evaporational Rinse, this is an EPA certified cleaner and disinfectant. This is the default recommendation that new Coil Gun always makes for customers who call and they say, what is, if you had to pick one evaporator cleaner that we should initially go to or use as our default, what would that be? Definitely Evaporational Rinse. The reason for that is it is EPA certified to disinfect, which is a unique attribute on coil cleaners. It comes in two different versions, which is also very convenient. It comes in the aerosol can, and then it comes in the gallon. The aerosol has a lemon fragrance. It's very light, definitely not offensive. I've never heard of anybody complain about the fragrance as being too strong. It's just a light odor where it smells clean. That's the way that I've heard people refer to it. What's nice about the aerosol version is that it can be billed to one job. So you take a can and then you bill it to the job. It's easy to track your usage. The liquid version doesn't have a fragrance added to it, and it needs to be applied by hand via some sort of a sprayer. New Coil Gun sells a handheld 50-piece sprayer, which is just a hand pump sprayer, which is a convenient way of applying it, or any type of hand pump sprayer will do. The liquid version is actually used full strength. It's the only coil cleaner that New Coil Gun offers where we do not recommend diluting it with water. Every once in a while, a customer will call us and tell us that they have a particularly dirty mini split that they need to clean, and they need something that is stronger than a no rinse product like Evap Fresh that we discussed on the previous slide. Whenever a customer asks me for what my general go-to coil cleaner is for something where they've got more aggressive contaminants, I always recommend Tri-Power HD. Tri-Power HD comes in two different forms. It comes in a gallon and it comes in an aerosol. Once again, the nice feature with the aerosol is that it doesn't need to be mixed into a sprayer. It's very easy to throw into a tool bag, carry into either somebody's home or building, wherever you're going to be maintaining the unit. It's got a lot of pressure behind it. It creates a lot of foam related to it being an aerosol. The foam is not, it's not a brightening foam. as you may have experienced on some of the other coil cleaners. It's just a foam that is made to actually get into the hard to reach areas, make contact with the areas that you cannot easily see with your eyes. Then that foam, after about 5 to 10 minutes of applying, will turn into a liquid and then saturate the contaminated areas. After it has turned into a liquid and had a chance to absorb into the contamination, then you would take and rinse the product off with some water. We also sell it in a gallon, which is far more economical than the aerosol. What's nice about the gallon is you'll dilute it with at least 3 parts water to 1 part chemical for a very tough, the heavier grease, grime, and contamination. You would go 3 to 1, and you can go 10 to 1. And if you apply it with 10 parts water, 1 part chemical, then you would actually be able to leave it on the coil itself, turn the system on, and use the condensation to self-rinse it, very similar to the EvapFresh no rinse, like we discussed in the previous slide. For more information regarding the proper coil cleaner for the different applications that you may come across in the field, you can always visit www.newcoilgun.com and read the individual descriptions of all the different products that we sell. There's also this chart, which you may or may not want to take a screenshot of. The chart has all the different coil cleaners and options that we have. This is a very convenient chart, in my opinion, because what it does is it breaks coil cleaning down into 3 different sections. You've got the equipment that you're going to be using it on, which is the first section, whether that be a condenser coil or a mini split condenser coil, a evaporator coil, whatever even electronic air cleaners, whatever it may be, or fan blades. And you go through and you just pick one of those and you say, okay, that's what I want to clean. And then you decide what kind of dirt and debris are you trying to get rid of? Is it whether it be chicken grease or whether it be just standard dirt and oil, tobacco tars, or who knows, even cottonwood. Cottonwood is the last selection there in the second category. You pick that, and then you come down to the features and benefits that you may be looking for, whether it be brightening or degreasing, or whether you want an EPA certification. You want to make sure that once you pick each choice from each category, your coil cleaner along the top of the page has a dot in each area where you're looking to service. So for example, if you're doing a mini split, let's just say, well, let's just go to evaporator coil, and you come across, and let's just stop at the Tri-Power HD, because that is that's a product we just talked about. So you can see that there's a dot under the Tri-Power HD. So that means, all right, evaporator coil. This is definitely a good choice for evaporator coils. Well, let's see. So I've got an evaporator coil, and I've got greasy dirt and oil. So let's go over here under Tri-Power. Yep. So Tri-Power will work very well for greasy dirt and oil on an evaporator coil. And let's come down here in the bottom, and if I say, well, I'm just going for degreasing, that's what it is, because it's greasy dirt and oil. Well, okay, so Tri-Power there, that's a good choice because it's got the dot here. So it's got a dot in all 3 of the different categories that we're trying to address. Now, if we're looking for a disinfectant, you can see below degreasing, there's no dot, which means this is not a disinfectant. So if we wanted to find something that was indeed a disinfectant, we would just follow that category all the way over to the right, and you're going to see 2 dots. And these 2 dots are under the EvapFresh. So EvapFresh is the only EPA certified disinfectant that we sell. So we would follow this column up to the top in this case, and we would see if it was applicable for evaporator coils. It is. And then we would come down and find out that it's really maybe not recommended for cooking grease, or greasy oil and dirt. In greasy applications, we would have to make the choice. Are we looking, what's the most important attribute that we need on this job? Is it a disinfectant, or is it the best possible removal of the contaminants. And what you could do in a case like this would be you could apply the Tri-Power HD, you could clean the coil, and then you could apply the EvapFresh to the evaporator, let it sit, and then let the condensation rinse the evaporator off with the EvapFresh, and then that would be the best of both worlds. You'd be able to remove all of the contaminants, and then you'd be able to leave the disinfectant behind. As we discussed in the previous slide, sometimes you need to remove the coil cleaner with water, and sometimes water is just a huge benefit in allowing you to do a better job at cleaning the coil and allowing you to reach areas that maybe are not easily accessible via a hand pump sprayer or an aerosol can. In that case, we do offer the Turbo Tank. Turbo Tank is a high velocity portable coil rinsing tool. It's got 130 PSI. It is the perfect tool from a pressure standpoint, allowing you to blast off the contaminants that are deeply seated inside the coil or on the blower wheel, but it's not producing enough PSI where it is going to create a problem with bending the fins or damaging the actual unit. What's nice about it is it's very simple to use. It's got a rechargeable battery, which allows you from 45 to 50 minutes of constant runtime. It has a 4.5 gallon capacity tank. It's a stout, heavy duty unit, so it's very durable. It comes with a 15-degree and a 0-degree nozzle. It also has an 8-inch 90-degree wand for allowing you to access the blower wheel much more effectively. But what it's really great also about this one is it allows the technician to reach above the evaporator and slide the nozzle back down alongside the rear portion of the evaporator coil that sits along the backside of the wall. To this date, I don't know of any other way that a technician can efficiently clean that backside of that evaporator coil. That's the one that up until this point I have not seen or come across a way to do a very thorough cleaning of that particular coil. But this wand, it comes with the turbo tank, will definitely do a great job. It comes with a wall charger and a 12-volt DC cigarette lighter plug that will allow you to use the unit directly off of your vehicle's 12-volt battery if you were to run out of power. In addition
Jonathan,
to
can you hear me?
Sell a couple of different optional accessories. We have a 39-inch 90-degree spray wand.
Hello, Horacio.
Yeah, give me a minute. Let me see if we are sync with your presentation. You are right now on the turbo tank adapter, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Give me a minute, please. Give me 30 seconds before continuing. Hold on. Okay. You can continue. Thank you.
Okay.
The Turbo Tank adapter is a brand new product that we just introduced this spring. The Turbo Tank adapter will allow a technician to connect our coil gun directly to the turbo tank. This will allow the technician to apply chemicals at the desired dilution ratio without actually adding any type of liquid or chemical into the turbo tank that's not water. We only recommend water by the turbo tank, as we don't want any type of.
Yes.
I will mind, if you don't mind, can you please go back one slide, start from there, because I think we got some kind of delay from your slide showing and what you were talking about.
Okay.
There you are. Yes, please. I'm sorry. Thanks. Go ahead.
Tank, we do sell a couple of different optional accessories. We have a 39-inch 90-degree spray wand. This is very similar to the 8-inch 90-degree that we talked about in the previous slide. However, this is more geared towards your condensing units. This will allow you to access all those hard-to-reach areas inside the condensing unit and on the back side of the coil, where a typical spray gun would just not have been nearly as functional. We also make a 115 volt to 12 volt DC converter. The unit itself runs off of a 12 volt DC battery and comes with a wall charger. However, the wall charger doesn't produce enough of a power supply to actually allow you to use the unit directly while it's charging. For purposes like this, you need a heavier or a stronger source of current, which is why we offer this 115 volt DC converter. Using the 115 volt DC converter, you would actually plug the cigarette lighter plug from the back of the turbo tank into this converter. And in theory, you could use the turbo tank all day without ever needing to charge it. What you're doing is you're actually taking the wall power, converting it to 12 volts. And as far as the turbo tank is concerned, it has a fully charged battery the entire time that it's plugged in. This creates a ton of opportunities, from mini splits to ceiling cassettes to coils where access to water is a problem, de-icing refrigeration components, and really just being able to do a much, much, much better, deeper cleaning of those machines where you would previously have to take a garden hose and run it through somebody's home or office building, try to figure out a way, maybe attach it to a kitchen sink. And now you have portable professional cleaning capabilities that will allow you to do a better cleaning in a shorter period of time and feel more confident charging your customers for the service that you're providing, while being able to provide more of those services during the work day, the work week, the work month. This unit itself is about half the cost of any other competitive unit that is available. It's available now, and just like every other new Coil Gun product that is sold, it is a 100% satisfaction guarantee. The Turbo Tank Adapter is a brand new product that we just introduced this spring. The Turbo Tank Adapter will allow a technician to connect our coil gun directly to the turbo tank. This will allow the technician to apply chemicals at the desired dilution ratio without actually adding any type of liquid or chemical into the turbo tank that's not water. We only recommend water inside the turbo tank, as we don't want any type of chemicals to potentially damage the internal components, the motor, and any of the valves that are in the pump. Up until this point, that has hindered the capacity of a technician to go and, for example, clean a condenser coil and apply any of our array of coil cleaners to the equipment. With this adapter, the Coil Gun, which is a product that we've had for many years, the Coil Gun allows you to take a liquid, non-diluted coil cleaner, add it into the jug, and then there's a dial on the top of the coil gun, which will allow you to choose A, B, C, D, or in essence, whatever the dilution ratio is that you want to use. Each one of those letters, A, B, C, D, E, has a dilution ratio associated, where the coil gun will automatically dilute the chemical to that dilution ratio. So for example, A is 3:1. You dial that to A, and then when you pull the trigger on the turbo tank, that water going through the gun is going to be automatically diluted with chemical at a dilution ratio of 3 parts water to 1 part chemical, and so on. B is going to be a higher ratio, C is going to be a higher ratio, D is going to be a higher ratio, all the way to E. This is great, as you've got the best of both worlds. You are able now to dispense coil cleaners at a predetermined dilution ratio, and you don't have to have any concerns about potentially doing any damage to the internals of the turbo tank. Once you're done, you would just take whatever remaining chemical that is left in the coil gun. It's not concentrated, as the dilution takes place inside the blue cap of the coil gun, not in the liquid that's in the container. So you would just pour that undiluted version that you didn't use back into the container of the coil cleaner, and then you would start from square one at the next job. It's a great way of saving money by not using a unnecessarily strong dilution ratio on maybe a coil that is not very dirty. Undoubtedly, the most common reason that technicians purchase the turbo tank is for the cleaning of mini splits or ductless systems, cassettes, any type of pressurized cleaning that will help the technician do a better job in a shorter period of time. Once you've accomplished your cleaning of the evaporator or sealant cassette, now you have the opportunity of selling your customer a treatment that will be very effective in preventing slime, sludge, odors, or the overflow of the condensate pan. This, in my opinion, is one of the best upsells that you can make. It provides, it's a very valuable service that you're providing. It allows you to spend a little bit of money and provide tremendous results. 1/5 of this little strip here, you can just cut it into 5 pieces. If you were doing, let's just say, 5 one-ton mini splits, that will prevent any type of odors and overflows and sludge and slime in a condensate pan for up to 4 to 6 months. The Puricle Green is a plant-based suspending dispersing action, so it's not actually killing anything, it's preventing the growth. So it's a green product, it's environmentally safe, environmentally friendly. It doesn't emit any type of odors that somebody could find offensive, and it's very inexpensive from a technician standpoint. You can buy one of these strips, then bill it on 5 individual jobs, and when you're offering this to the end user, you're letting them know that for 4 to 6 months, they're not going to have any problems with sludge or odors or overflowing of the condensate pan. In my opinion, this is definitely a very valuable service that you can charge for, and it really doesn't cost very much money at all. You would just simply cut it into the size of the application that you're using it for. So in the case of a 1-ton, you could cut this into 5 individual pieces, use 1 piece to drop right, as you can see in the picture on the mini strips packaging. There's a little hand that's dropping it down along the front side of the evaporator, just so it makes contact with the drain pan. Once it's in there, then water makes contact as the condensation rolls down the coil. It touches the strip, and then the strip allows the dispersing action to suspend all of the contaminants that would normally stick and cause the sludge and odors and all of the undesirable things that we don't want to occur inside that dark, wet, moist environment. Gel Tabs Mini is a new product that we just released this spring. It is our newest addition to the family of mini split products to maintain the condensate pans. It is a specially designed product for hard to reach condensate pans like mini splits. It's got a very slim design. It looks like it's got a long pill shape. In the package that you see on the screen, there's actually 2. So it comes in packages of 2. Each one is rated for 1.5 tons for 3 months of treatment. So you get 2 gel tabs per package. Each gel tab is 1.5 tons for 3 months. So you get basically 3 tons of protection for a 3-month period of time. We sell other gel tabs for larger for larger equipment. And this is the same type of formula. The gel tabs is one of our best movers. It is a more aggressive version of the Pure Cool green strips that we talked about in the previous slide. The Pure Cool is a dispersant. It prevents the growth, where this will actually, we can't say kill because it's not EPA certified, but it will actually eliminate existing odors and bacterias and contaminants that grow. If people ask me which one is going to be, let's just say, a stronger product, I always recommend the gel tabs. I've had a lot of success with gel tabs over the years, so I was really happy to see this product come out. And the fit is perfect. A lot of evaporators have minimal access, if any. This thing just slips right into the little channels at the bottom of the condensate tray on a mini split, sits there, and the water just passes right over it. So it's a great product, completely dissolves, it locks in place, you're not gonna have any clogs, and it's just a great, convenient product to use. Now that we've covered cleaning the mini splits, and we've also covered protecting the condensate pan and drain lines from foul odors and clogs, we've got the indoor air quality, which is another great option for you guys to increase your revenue stream with your customers. Two options. One is what I can call a consumable option because it lasts for a 3-month period of time. And then the other one is a permanent option, which is the iWave strip that you see there below. Mini Frisch is an excellent choice for a customer that's on a budget. It eliminates odors in the unit and the room. The product reacts with airborne odor-causing components. It does leave a cleaner, fresher scent. It's not an air freshener. There's a light odor to it if you were to stick it directly up to your nose, but once it actually gets into the airstream, you really can't even tell it's there. What it does is it actually removes the odors that are existing from any types of contamination in the room. You just sit it on top of the air louvers of the mini split, and the product is external, and it just pulls the product down in through the blower wheel and then out through the vents on the mini split. It's an inexpensive product. As I mentioned, it does last for 3 months. This is not a product that we would want our customers to use in conjunction with the Ionizer that we're going to talk about on the next page. They're completely separate. This is a consumable choice, where the next one is more of a permanent choice. The iWave N is an ionizer that is designed specifically for ductless applications. It's made for coils up to 36 inches. It will control mold on the coil and the blower wheel. It actually has a Velcro strip. It is made to attach to the back side of the coil. You should be able to see that in the picture below the actual unit right there. And the Velcro is great for two things. One, removing it and cleaning it if needed, or actually transferring it to a new unit, as it does have a 10 to 15 year life expectancy. And this will outlast many of the units that it's actually installed in. We don't recommend using the Ionizer with the Mini Fresh that we discussed in the previous slide. The reason being, the ions will actually cancel out the Mini Fresh, and you're not going to get the benefit of both of them. You're only going to get the benefit of one of them. So if you're using the Mini Fresh, you use the Mini Fresh. If you want to use an Ionizer, you use the Ionizer itself. One thing that is very popular about the Ionizers is they're very effective at eliminating and maintaining a healthy environment, not just free from odors, but free from bacteria, viruses, and all of those nasty contaminants that we're all unfortunately very aware of right now. Now that we've covered the cleaning, maintaining, and preventing aspects of mini splits, hopefully you've come across several new ways of offering innovative and beneficial services to your customers that can be hopefully very profitable for you. I did want to show you this video. This is something that was passed to me by one of my customers, and I find it very interesting to say the least. This is the wrong way to clean a mini split. I hope everybody got a kick out of the previous slide. Now, this is the right way to clean the mini split. And before we end today's presentation, I wanted to allow you guys a chance to see the different new Coil Gun products that we discussed actually in action and cleaning a unit. So hopefully you have a better idea of the time that you can save by utilizing the products that we discussed today, but also the additional revenue that they can help you earn in the field. That's it. Any questions anybody has?
Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate the time.
No,
If anyone listening have any question, please send it via chat so Jonathan can help us with the answer. In the meantime, Jonathan, I appreciate your time and for information that you have sharing with us. It's very important to know all this type of detail and knowing that there is all these type of products available to be able to clean, do a proper cleaning of the mini split and air conditioning units. That's great.
My pleasure, Horacio. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Well, like always, if you have any question after we close the session, you can send the questions to info@tencatech.com. and that way we can answer any question after we close this session. I don't see more questions coming in, so I'm gonna close the session. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Again, thank you for the time, and hope to see you next time.
Thank you. Have a good day.
John.
Jonathan,
very much.
appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.